And when I wake up, I'm going to be the man who wakes up next to you. Man, my computer is so potato cammy right now. That's a little better. Again, it's this wall. It is this wall every time. I have far more clarity hell in the other room than this wall. Um, I never thought about that when we painted this wall years ago, but I never thought about that. Anyway, enough about painting potato cam sheep detectives. I had time to see this yesterday. It was matinee yesterday, so it was a cheap watch. I'm like, I've been hearing really really good things about it. It looked cute and charming. But I want to try to get at least one other movie under my belt. Because I used to be able to go see like multiple movies in a week, but funds right now are a little tight, so seeing multiple films a week becomes a little bit more difficult. And so I got out of work. I had about 45 minutes, and then I went to go watch it, sat down, and look, there are movies that I've seen a fair bit of. We're not even halfway through the year yet, but I have seen a fair bit of movies this year. I have seen good movies. I have seen less than good movies. I don't know if I've seen a truly bad movie this year. I didn't. I do not know for certain if I have seen a truly bad movie at all. But I've seen movies that made me experience multiple things. But I've only seen two movies this year. One was Project Hail Mary, and the other is this. That when I got out of the movie, I felt like a better person watching the movie. My heart felt full watching this movie. And you know what it is? I don't, with all the movies we've been getting as of late, now that I can actually get I haven't seen a lot of. Okay, maybe The Bride would have been definitely one of the weaker movies this year, to be sure. And no, Primate was not great. It was fine for what it was. And that's the problem. They're like fine for what they are. But, I really haven't seen a lot of movies this year, or in general, that when I get out, I just feel good for watching it. There's no profound lesson in humanity here, per se. I mean, I guess you could find it if you're looking for it. There's no, oh my God, it restores my faith in humanity, all that. And there's nothing like that, but he's just a sweet, charming, funny, lovable, and heartfelt story. I mean, the story is what you see. Hugh Jackman plays, I believe his name is George, is the name of the character, but it's George Hardy, who, George Hardy, who, he's a shepherd. Give me 1 second here. Are they in New Zealand? I want to say no. They're in the English village of Denbrook. Okay, it is. It is English. Okay, because he's Australian, Hugh Jackman, and they're really not hiding the fact he's Australian. Yeah, Australian and English can sound a little bit similar, but he is Australian to be clear. Yeah, and he lives on this farm. He has an air farm. He's got this a camper that he lives in. Doesn't actually have a house, and he just does his job as a shepherd, and he absolutely loves his job as a shepherd. He names all of his sheep; they're all special to him, and then he gets murdered. And the question is, obviously every night he reads these murder mysteries to him, and the sheep obviously are much smarter than we give them credit for, although not as smart as they give them credit for. Um, and and the one sheep, Lily, who is like the main sheep, is, going to try to solve his murder along with a couple other fellow sheep. And it's the mystery of, can they solve it? Can the humans also solve it? When you got this eclectic group of characters from Nicholas Gazilli, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is our new He-Man, right? He's our Prince Adam. Because I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, that's He-Man, right? Emma Thompson's in there, Nicholas Braun is in there, Molly Gordon. Brett Goldstein. Oh, Brett Goldstein plays one of the sheep. And yeah, no, that makes sense. Hong Chao is in there. It's a very, who done it, who did it, why, and what this film does so well is it just sets you up with a very basic premise. You immediately get to like these characters. Hugh Jackman's always lovable and likable in his own way, so we're always able to kind of like invest in him. So when Hugh Jackman we know is going to be killed, it's sad when we see the sheep find his body. And then the mystery happens of who did it and why, and I'll give them credit. It's not. It's clearly not the red herring. Like, there's red herrings. They're going by the rules of a murder mystery. They even said, I've read dozens of these books before. There are rules to this. It's like, yeah, this, and this, and this. And so it's probably not the immediate suspect. I'm not going to say who it is, but someone is not framed for it. Actually, a little bit framed for it. That someone's framed for it in the movie. And that's really not a spoiler at all. Like, it happens, you'd be like, why are you spoiling? Like, come on, that person didn't do it. Now, that being said, if the person did do it, made it look like they didn't do. Actually, they do reference that in the movie where it's like, oh no, it was the nephew. He framed himself. It's like, so, like, that would have actually been a good plot twist, but no. And then again, it would have been harking back to something they say in the movie, which I don't know if it would have been a good plot twist, but it kind of would have been. But no, that is the one spoiler. You kind of know, you pretty much know that this person isn't the one who did it. So when you learn about who did do it and why they did it and how they did it, you're like, all the hints are there in or enough of the hints are there in the movie. But if you're not thinking on it for more than a little while, that you'd actually do have to kind of really piece it together like a detective would, and I really appreciate that. All the acting is superb. They very much are giving small town vibes. And again, the whodunit of characters. He says there's among you there's 2 murderers, a victim, a winter lamb, and a bad shepherd. And you're like trying to be scared. Okay, oh, and a fool. Like, and you're trying to figure out, okay, this, that. Okay, who's who? And ultimately, I think you do know who it is, especially when they do definitely name drop a couple of them. Not name drop, but signal them out. But I am also when I hear that, I'm like wondering, it's like, okay, well maybe it's not that, maybe it's this or whatever. And so yeah, and then CGI work is actually really good on the sheep. Like, it is CGI, it is. I don't think but it's pretty solid CGI. Like, after just getting used to it for maybe a couple seconds, you just go with it. Like, you do believe the sheep are there. When someone's petting the sheep, you believe that. When they're bashing it, oh god, bash it. You believe that they're bashing something. You believe the interactions, definitely. I'm wondering if they did use any real sheep for stand-ins at all. If there's ever like a sheep that's kind of on set with them at any point in time. And then again, like I said, the voice acting is really good. Bryan Cranston's character, Sebastian, I really did like that character because Bryan Cranston has that kind of voice where he can be because he's Malcolm's dad. He can be wacky, but he can also be very heartfelt, and he can be menacing too when he wants to be. There's a couple shots where he's definitely got an intimidation factor going on. I like these characters. These characters are really good. I also like the fact too that our protagonist Lily, if I'm not mistaken, that's her name, is the brown sheep, the smartest sheep in the world, allegedly, and what she directly calls that the world. Where have you been in the world? While she is technically the smartest among them, she is actually very naive to the real world, and she is very so much a sheep. There's a thing the sheeps do where they can actually willfully forget things. And there's a scene where a revelation comes. After a scene that I'll admit, wasn't like personally creeped out, but I'm like, no, this is giving some good kind of creepy, scary vibes a little bit. Absolutely. And it leads to a moment where I'm like, oh, that's sad. Like I said, there's some genuine heartache in this film. Like I actually was getting emotional at points. But there's a scene where she learns something about another farm, the other farm that would be taking them in, hypothetically. And she's like, this isn't the first time I've seen that, is it? No. How many times have I forgotten? Too many to count. Because there's this one sheep who actually has this, because the sheep can just forget anything they want, but there's one sheep who actually can't forget. And it's actually a pivotal plot point in terms of character growth for other characters, because this one guy can't forget things. And I really love how it's all set up. So it's just a wonderful little film. It really is. I mean, it did not do well opening weekend. It made right around $15 million. That's on a $75 million budget. That's not enough. Maybe, hopefully, this will be kind of like a Puss in Boots situation, a Greatest Showman situation, where it does ultimately end up recouping its budget long term. Because I mean, the film, I don't know what the marketing budget is. My guess is only about 50 million. Only 50 million, but only about 50-ish million, roughly. Which would mean that the film's made on about 125. So if it could hit 185, I would say that's a wash financially, but that would take a lot. But again, maybe this could be one of those circumstances where the word of mouth spreads well enough for this film to actually make its money back. Okay, we actually only had 3 trailers, which is kind of ridiculous. But we had Toy Story 5. Looking forward to Toy Story 5. It's a solid trailer, and they're actually really updating the Toy Story lore with like modern tech. And I do love that line. You know, toys are for play, but tech is for everything. I think that is a true statement, including play. But then we had Masters of the Universe, which now makes sense because the guy who's in Masters of the Universe playing Prince Adam is in this film. But that said, we did get a new trailer for The Breadwinner. And look, I very well might skip out that week because I did not like that first trailer. That first trailer really infuriated me. Just because of because of the audacity. Is like, you're a joke. I'm not going to make it bad. Like, are you an effing idiot? You asked him to come on stage. This isn't his fault. This is your fault. Like, you're not going to go in on this great product she's made because of something you made them do? Are you freaking high? And look, I get it. The whole issue of, oh my God, I never understood how hard my wife's life was, what job was. I get it. But, I mean, look, and I know there's also, I'll be honest. I will be honest. And I'm not trying to be sexist when I say this. Even though it might seem a little sexist, and it kind of is. But I have to stop and think. I don't remember a lot of movies where that plot point is reversed, where it's the wife is taking over for the husband, not realizing how hard his life is. I am drawing a blank on any movie off the top of my head where that is the plot point. Because, and I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they exist. But I think it comes down to, again, a bit of the sexist point, but in a way I don't think filmmakers and maybe audience goers actually understand or realize, I should say, because it's actually more sexist not to address something than it is to address something. And to not be addressing the fact that, yeah, women also have to take on male roles, and it doesn't always work out. Is actually more sexist. It's actually more sexist not to acknowledge it, because just acknowledging something isn't sexist. It's just pointing out a fact of life. And yeah. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of scenarios where men take on, or a husband takes on the role of like everything a wife's their wife does, and it's tough. They don't realize how tough it is. But the same is true the other way around. And my issue isn't even the plot point, even though it's a tired plot trope or a tired trope. It's not the trope per se. It's not a trope I love, but it's not the trope per se. It's the fact that, again, that opening to that first trailer really, really turned me off. It really turned me off. But I say all this because this new trailer does bring more context in, where we actually learn, even though the one idiot decided, you're a joke, blah, 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 someone else actually did make her an offer. And the reason he's now got to be the breadwinner, or sure, she's the breadwinner, why he's got to stay home, is because she needs to go work on this with this person to realize the dream. And so now there's a little bit more context here. I'm like, okay, I'll back up a bit. I am less pissed off with this plot than I was with the first trailer. However, I feel like, I mean, I get it's a big change. I get all that, but I feel like they keep bringing out the fact that this is your dream. This is your dream. I feel like we're going to get some sort of tired trope of her realizing she misses the kids. It's my dream, yeah, but I'm sacrificing my family for it. I feel like they're kind of laying the groundwork for that. But maybe I'm dead wrong on that. I don't know. Let me check real quick what the movies are going to be that week, because I'll be honest, I'm still not feeling this movie. This might be a week where I take a week off or play catch up on something that came out. Okay, so next week is Mandalorian and Grogu. I'll definitely be at that. I have no desire to see Passenger. The only other movie coming out in wide release is a movie called Pressure, based on a true story. What's this? It's got Brendan Fraser in it. Oh, okay. In the 1072 hours before D-Day and the fate of the free world hanging in the balance, Pressure in the fate of the world. Pressure follows George W. Dwight Eisenhower and Captain James Stagg as they face the impossible choice: launch the largest, most dangerous seaborne invasion in history, or risk losing the war altogether. I know nothing about and heard nothing about this movie, but I mean, it sounds like a movie my dad would love. But I don't know if there is a widescreen showing for it, maybe I'll go see it. I really just don't. I don't know. We'll see what my funds are like. We'll see what my mood is like that week. Anyway, though, The Sheep Detectives. Lovely film. Absolutely recommend it. It's great family film. Fantastic family film. So if you're tired of seeing a Mario for the 17th time, go check out Sheep Detectives. I joke, but I'm sure there's people who have just been taking their kids over and over again to Mario because it's the only thing out, and they want, let's go play Mario again. It's like, if it'll keep you quiet for an hour and a half. But anyway, I digress. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Later.